What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Tesla with the ticker symbol TSLA. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. So here we have the daily chart for Tesla. I look at Tesla 2 times a week, every Monday and Thursday. So let's take a look at what happened since last week, Thursday. You can see that price was maintaining support above the 242 level, and then you can see that it continued higher for the remaining 2 days since. So this looks pretty good for higher prices because obviously the bulls maintain support at the 242 level, and it looks like we're seeing somewhat of a higher low. This swing right over here is higher than the previous one, so this is a higher low and a smaller time frame, a lower time frame. So that looks pretty good for at least short-term upsides. So if price does continue higher, which looks like it has the capability to do, since we're maintaining support above the 242, looks like we're seeing some bullish price action today. Even though it wasn't that much of a gain, you can see that price did sell off quite a bit, but the bulls managed to recover most of that drop, so that's a very good sign, and even closed up for the day. And it looks like the bulls broke outside of this wide trend line. So this is a very wide trend line that I drew, and it looks like the bulls are breaking out of it, which is a good sign. I think maybe the trend line would fit maybe in that gap right there if I draw it a little bit shallower. So either way, it looks like the bulls are breaking outside of this trend line. Maybe at the most it's drawn like that, something super wide. But I think the breakout occurred right over here. That's why there's a gap between these candles. So I think it's right over here. We'll see where it is at the end of the day. But it looks like the bulls are breaking outside of the downward trend line, which shows loss of momentum by the bears, which is a good sign for the bulls. So if price does continue higher, what would be a target? Well, there will be two targets. The first one will be this gap fill right here at the 262 level. And then the next target would be this downward trend line off of the swing highs that I drew right near the high 260s. So I'm looking for probably the 260s in the coming week for Tesla. It looks pretty good to the upside. I think we're going to see higher prices, maybe something like that. And those are the two levels I'll be looking for first. If price does manage to break out through this trend line, then you know where it's headed. It's probably going to be headed for the highs of this uptrend. Now let's just say we do find resistance around this area. Why would that occur? Well, there's a good reason for that occurring, because this measure move target by the bears has not been fulfilled yet. So you can see there was a large drop by the bears right back over here from July up until August. So there's a good chance expecting a similar size drop. Measure moves aren't always reached, so it's actually a very bullish sign if the bears do not reach this measure move target at the 191 level. But this is their first attempt that we just saw from September. Now, if we do see another attempt down, there's a good chance of that occurring. And if that fails, that might be the last attempt, and we can see much more higher prices from there. So that can occur like I drew out, or sometimes it doesn't play out just like that. It could just continue rocketing out higher. So either way, since bulls are still maintaining this upward channel, since they're maintaining the 242 as support, it's always expected for higher prices from there. But I'm just saying this might be some resistance at these higher prices for another attempt down by the sellers. So again, that's what I see for Tesla. It looks pretty good to the upside. I think we're going to probably be seeing a continued bounce up, or possibly even a guaranteed reversal for Tesla. So I think in the short term it looks pretty good. And from there, let's see what happens at this trend line if price does even find resistance at it at all. So that's all I see on the daily chart. I'm looking for higher prices. Let's just say we collapse tomorrow. I don't see anything on the chart telling me that can occur. Again, nothing is guaranteed. But I don't really see a technical sign telling me that we're going to see a huge collapse right through this channel or something like that, unless something major comes out. Something that technical chartists can't ignore. Maybe something like, I don't know, Tesla lost 100,000 cars in inventory or something like that. I don't know. But like if something does happen that drastic, we'll probably see it occur in the chart. But I don't see anything technically telling me that we're going to see something crazy occurring anytime soon, most likely. Maybe if we reach this trend line, we could probably see something. But until now, it looks pretty good for the upside, at least in the short term. Now, that's all I have on the daily chart. Now, let's take a look at the weekly chart. Now, here is the weekly chart for Tesla. And it's still maintaining support above that weekly EMA. Last week was somewhat bullish, and now this week looks like a good start. We could see a continued breakout of the prior week's high, which is at the 254.86. So if you see a breakout of that, I think there's a clear shot to the 260 level and possibly even higher from there. And again, I think, as long as the bulls maintain this momentum to the upside, we could see even more higher prices, possibly the all-time highs, maybe sometime next year. I don't think it's going to reach all-time highs this year. That's a very quick move up. It can, but it's not likely to. Sometime maybe first quarter, maybe second quarter of next year will be a good chance. As long as we don't see anything crazy occur, I think Tesla is still working its way higher, just not as quickly as before. And in the short term, it's also looking pretty bullish itself. So that's all I have for Tesla on the daily and weekly charts. And I'll give you guys an update this week, Thursday, most likely. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.